I'm Colin Sullivan.
And I'm Pepper Raper.
And this is Almost Live, a weekly show that gives you the who's who and what's what of Telluride and Mountain Village.
In this week's show, Catherine Warren will bring us the Warren Commission report with news in our local music and entertainment scene. We'll have conversations with Courtney Steucheli from Telluride Adaptive Sports Program, and Jim Berkowitz will be speaking with us about the Telluride Society for Jazz.
We're going to see some profiles on local businesses, the Liberty Bar in downtown Telluride, and Wagner Custom Skis up there in Mountain Village. And then we're going to go and visit with Patrick Legans, the wine geek food freak, and he's going to make a simple but delicious tomato sauce.
We'll join Diva Chesones at Between the Covers and the news team from KOTO Community Radio for a new episode of Radio Vision News.
We're going to see a retro ride from the 2015 Telluride Jazz All-Stars, and then we're going to practice a new pose with Barbara Yoga.
Now let's join Colin and Catherine for the Warren Commission.
And here we are back again with the famous, the one, the only, Catherine Warren.
Hi, Colin.
Hi, Catherine.
How's it going?
It's going well. I'm very excited. There's a lot of things going on.
Yes, it is a busy week. And really, you're not going to be bored this weekend unless you choose to be, I guess. But
you're not bored in Telluride from like February all the way through.
Yeah, February through April. You're entertained almost every single day of the week. And it all starts on Friday with Tyler Simmons playing an après-ski set at the Liberty. That's free at 4:30.
Half of Porch Couch.
Yes, one
Porch.
half. Yep, the porch. He's awesome, super fun. Come grab a drink. It's free. As I said, après-ski, so come in your ski boots, leave your skis outside, grab a beverage, and enjoy Tyler's awesome guitar playing and singing. And then later on Friday night is the Blue Party, the annual fundraiser for the Telluride Adaptive Sports Program. Great cause, great folks.
Yep.
They're doing really great work in the town, and I believe we're learning more about that event later in the episode.
We're going to talk to the ED, Courtney, later in the episode.
Fabulous. Later on Friday night, if you don't go to the Blue Party, we have Martin Sexton and Keller Williams playing at the Sheridan Opera House.
Very nice.
A dream pairing for
Still
some
tickets?
music fans. Limited number of tickets.
Okay.
I would imagine by Friday night we might be sold out, but we still have some as of the filming day for today.
Yeah.
But
go online.
Go
online and get these tickets.
SheridanOperaHouse.com.
Yep.
These two are basically considered the musicians. They are so amazing and engaging on stage. They've had big careers separately, and they're doing a rare tour through Colorado. They're both playing individual sets, and then they'll be collaborating some as well. And it's just, it's one of the highlights of the winter for many people in town, myself included. Later on Saturday night, we have Monophonics, an awesome soul band. They've played here before. They sold out the Opera House during Blues and Brews and during a March show 2 years ago. They call themselves psychedelic soul funk, so all three great adjectives to describe
the
music.
Monophonics, a regular down in New Orleans as well.
They're so fun.
Gotta go see them.
Still plenty of tickets available, but if the previous shows are any indicator, we could be sold out by the time the show starts at 9. So check it out at SheridanOperaHouse.com. We get a breather on Sunday. We can all relax for a little bit.
That's right.
And then Monday night, we have Sam Bush, the King of Telluride.
The King of Telluride is back.
Yes, he is. For folks who don't know who Sam Bush is, he plays and headlines Telluride Bluegrass Festival every year. He's been to all festivals but one.
He's a bluegrass
in his
god.
40-plus years. He is the bluegrass mandolin god.
He's the Bruce Springsteen of bluegrass.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And we have him at the Opera House on Monday. Very limited tickets available currently. We could be sold out by the time this airs, I'm not sure, but check that out. He has not played here in the winter in a very, very long time, so we're excited to have Sam in the band at the Opera House.
Rare to see Sam in that small of a venue
Exactly,
as well.
Usually he's headlining Town Park to, I don't know what the technical capacity is, but to 9 to 11,000 people, something like that.
Lots of thousands of people.
So we're really honored to have him at the Opera House. And then on Wednesday at Club Red, a fabulous funk band from Brooklyn named Turquoise plays. And they're joined by the openers Combrio. Combrio played at Blues and Brews last year, had a total blast with those guys. They're so much fun. Turquoise sold out the Opera House last year. They're now playing at the Club Red. They are so much fun.
Cool.
Like, even if you don't know the music, you just go up there, dance your butt off the whole night, and people love them. And it's great to have them back in town.
Nice. Is that all? That's all we've got going on, Catherine?
Just those few shows.
Holy moly. That's a lot of music. Yes. And thank you very much for coming down. And now listen, if you wanted to know more about said band and you were to know a local writer and that writer were to write a column by your same name, who would that writer be and where would I find that column?
You would find that column in the Watch newspaper. A new issue is out on Thursday, and the Warren Commission is my column, the inspiration for this segment. And also we have the beat sheet, which is the whole, the regional lineup of music events. That's also in the section of the Watch as well. So pick up a copy of the Watch for Warren Commission. I got to go write my column now.
Go. She's on a deadline, for God's sakes. While she goes to write her column, let's watch a promo from a local business, the Liberty Bar.
My name's Adam Singer. I am one of the owners of The Liberty. We are a bar lounge here in downtown Telluride. And this is a great space. It's comfortable. The lighting is great. The atmosphere is fun. We have like 30 wines available. We have some very high-end wines by the glass even, and champagne, and we have a specialty cocktail menu, draft beer. So a little bit of everything that we try to accommodate. We want to be approachable. You could come in and have a $3 PBR, and you can have a $300 bottle of Dom Perignon if you want. There's a band or a DJ almost every Friday and Saturday, so there's a lot of live entertainment and a lot of fun. There's always something happening here.
Hi, I'm Patrick Legans. Welcome to another episode of Wine Geek Food Freak. Today I want to teach y'all something old school. I want to do an original tomato sauce. This is like a base tomato sauce. You can do anything you want from this after this point. What I like to start out with, I got my extra virgin olive oil going here. It's already hot. I'm going to put in some yellow onion. About a half an onion, I'd say. Now I'm going to just saute these until they become translucent. Then I take 2 cans of whole peel tomatoes. I bought these at our local Clark's Market, one of our good sponsors. You can, if you're industrious enough, you can take tomatoes, Roman tomatoes, and boil them and peel them yourself. But I think the canned versions are just as good. So I like to get in there with my hands. Now you have to be careful because they will squirt out a little bit. If you have children, they love to help on this section. Trust me on that. So I just get in there. I'm going to smash these up with my hands. I'm just going to wait for my onions to be translucent, and then we're going to add those guys in there. All right, so now that the onions are translucent, or kind of like window panes, I am going to add those smashed up whole peeled tomatoes. I'm going to add half that amount. It's a 2-to-1 ratio on tomato paste. I'm going to stir this up, mix it well together. I'm going to add a little bit of water, about 2 cups. I'm going to add some basil. I just throw the whole stalk of basil in there because we're going to spin this out later and we'll get rid of all that. I also like the secret ingredient, a nice big fat pinch of sugar, some cracked black pepper, and a little bit of salt. And then all we do is reduce from here. So now if you'll notice on the tomato sauce, we don't have it boiling like super rapidly. My mentor always told me, let it talk to you. So it's just blup, blup, blup is the best way to describe it. You can see the consistency starting to get thick. Always take care to get all this stuff off the side. That's where the sodium is. That's where the flavor is. Okay, so it's been about an hour. It's time, and I believe our tomato sauce is done. So again, this is a base tomato sauce. You can take this anywhere. So I trained in Naples, Italy, and this is how we used to make the pizza sauce. Very, very basic. Once you do this, you can take it in any direction you want. You can go crushed red pepper, you can go black pepper, cacciatore, pescatore, all the tories, whatever you want. I'm gonna do a wand today. A food mill is ideal, but I understand not everyone has one. So I'm just making sure that all the onions, the tomato parts that are still left whole, the basil, and those spices are all mixed together. Again, a nice base sauce. We can do anything with this. You can hold it in the fridge. You could freeze this if you wanted to and use it later in the week. I have kids. I like to just take out a little bit at a time and just make them a quick matriciana or just a nice little pasta. Super fast, super easy, and the work's already done, and your house smelled good the whole day you made it. So let's check out our consistency just so you can see what we're looking at here. All right, here we go. Look at that. That is a legitimate tomato sauce. Now remember, all you need is some good ingredients, a few minutes of your time, some care, and you can eat like me, Patrick Legans, the wine geek, food freak.
Greetings from Between the Covers Bookstore, Telluride's fiercely independent bookshop since 1974. As we forge on into the middle of March, we are so excited to present an event this Saturday night, March 10th at 7 p.m. at the AHA School for the Arts. We're bringing in Steucheli. Steucheli, who's that? Well, he's the author of Son of a Midnight Land, a memoir and stories, and you might recognize his name as the patriarch in Discovery Channel's Emmy shortlisted program, Alaska, The Last Frontier. Atz grew up the son of Swiss immigrants that homesteaded near Homer, Alaska in the 1930s. He himself had a bevy of kids, a lot of them featured on the show, and one of those is singer-songwriter Jewel. We're hoping that between readings, he's going to pick up his guitar and sing a few songs, and rumor has it, he might just be joined by his daughter for a couple of duets. The event is free, and we hope you join us for stories of life and Alaska with songs in between. That's 7 p.m. at the AHA School this Saturday night. The other thing I want to bring up, we're going to jump into May, is Mountain Film. With them, we've decided on a title to be the Mountain Film Town Read. Basically, it's an open-ended book club that gets you ready for the festival, and it's usually based on the theme for the symposium that will run throughout the festival. And that is this year, migration. That is a huge, complex topic, and kudos to Mountain Film for taking it on. Migration has altered and continues to alter millions of lives around the planet, not just humans, but also animals. We'll be touching on everything from climate change to conflict. Within that, there is a book and a person coming named Lauren Markham. She's based in Berkeley and is an advocate for refugee placement and immigrant education. She writes for Orion, The New Yorker, The Guardian, and we're thrilled that she'll be in town. The book is called The Faraway Brothers, Two Young Migrants and the Making of an American Life. Two brothers, like I mentioned, identical twins, growing up in El Salvador. One of them is just can't wait to try to get to America. The other one, not so much. When they're 17, there's an incident with the brutal regional gangs there, and they have to make their way to the U.S. It basically becomes a coming-of-age story, but at the same time, she really casts the lens on immigration policy and what that means to teenagers that have come here as unaccompanied minors. So we're announcing this title right now. So as you make your piles of books for your off-season reads and your jaunts on to warmer places, we hope you pick this up. And if you mention Mountain Film Town Read, we'll give you 10% off. So we hope you join us on Saturday, March 10th at 7 o'clock at the AHA School for an evening with Steucheli. And as always, keep reading.
Thanks a lot, Diva. It was a great little thing there. Love that bookstore. And we are here now with Courtney Steucheli from TASP, or Telluride Adaptive Sports Program.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm so excited
Thanks for being here.
to talk about the program and all the fun things we're doing out on the slopes.
You have a big event coming up as well, which we're going to talk about, the Blue Party, which is really cool. It's one of the events of the year. Mm-hmm. But I want to talk first. Let's take it all the way back.
Okay.
How did you get here? I know you have some lovely children. I've taught some of them.
You have. I'm used to seeing you in the theater.
That's right. So, tell me, how did you come to be in our lovely little town?
All right. So, it's a long and circuitous story.
Okay.
But I'll try to keep it short. I moved here in 2001, a long time ago.
Wow.
It's aging me. I came out of Michigan via Denver and then landed here. And there's really no place better. Where do you go after Telluride? So,
and what brought you to town? Was it like a job, or was it just like you wanted to have children in like Kid Vegas here?
Exactly. How did
amazing place to raise your kids?
Exactly. You nailed it. It was a bit serendipitous. I was working in Denver at the Denver Zoo. I ran their special event program. I've always worked for nonprofits, actually. Nice. I worked for the Museum of Nature and Science, Denver Zoo, and then It's always a guy. It's always a guy that brings you to Telluride. My now husband, then boyfriend,
Oh, nice. Okay.
had always, and we actually bonded over this mutually. We
You got a ring on it.
yeah,
That's
got a
right.
ring on it. And we ended up, he'd always sort of had it in the back of his mind that he wanted to move to Telluride and have a blacksmith shop. And I was like, hey, I can get on that bandwagon. And sure
Okay.
enough, I hear there's lots of nonprofits in Telluride. And sure enough, the path led us here.
Well, we're really happy you're here, and even more so, the folks at TASP are happy that you're here because you're the ED over there.
I am.
And these guys do. You guys do all sorts of amazing stuff. Particularly, you work with adaptive athletes, right, on the ski hill. Or what? Am I saying that correctly?
You are adaptive athletes or people with disabilities that aspire to be athletes. Anybody who comes to our door, any ability, we provide services to get them out on the mountain, beyond, to experience the freedom and just the love of, we all love hiking, biking, skiing. You move here for a reason, and we just make sure everybody can enjoy that.
When I originally came here, I used to teach at the mountain school, and we used to run the ski program over there. Of course, there's like those ski PE programs. And one of the days, the mountain school kids every year would come and work with TASP, and they would be the TASP instructors would teach them how to work with adaptive athletes. So I remember one girl working with a blind skier.
Yeah.
And it just blew her mind. She was like, I can't
Imagine how you
that
do this.
somebody skis blind.
Yeah,
This is the thing.
it's pretty incredible. Actually, that's one of my favorite programs.
Yeah.
We bring up a group from the St. Michael's School in Arizona.
Yes,
it's
that's right.
a Navajo reservation. The Navajo reservation has a school for special needs youth, and we bring them up one day a year, and we partner with the mountain school, and it's a great opportunity for the kids to learn about disability awareness, which we now call Enabling All, and build friendships and bonds with these students who come up and in many cases haven't even seen snow. So we've been doing that for almost, like 15 years. And I've been with the program since 2006, so I've seen a lot of these kids grow up, and it's a really special partnership.
And then, what about some of the other stuff that you guys do? You guys have trained Olympic athletes?
Special Olympic athletes.
Special Olympic athletes.
We have a lot of gold medals, silver medals.
Wow.
Yeah. So every year, another one of our programs is we have a team of about 20 youth with cognitive disabilities from the whole region. They come from Montrose, Telluride, Cortez, and for, 6 Saturdays, we train on the race course with this group. We have trained instructors. The kids are just, it's incredible. There's so much positive energy. We get local youth volunteers to partner up with these kids, and then we bring them to regionals and states to compete. So yes, we have trained Olympians.
Amazing.
It's pretty cool.
And then there was something about a basketball game you played recently, I heard about.
Tim was involved.
What happened?
Yeah, we brought up a team of amputee basketball players from Arizona. They're called AMP1. They're professional amputee basketball players.
And what does that look like? Is that all sorts of different amputees, like double amputees in the legs and like
in this case, it was
arms
primarily arms.
Okay.
There were a few guys. Actually, there were a couple leg guys who were missing, like below the knee or above the knee amputees with prosthetics. And we brought the team here, and then we put together a team of local players that were like pretty good at basketball. We had Jim Looney play with us. I don't know if you had a chance to see it.
Yeah.
And
Jim Looney is our local postman.
Yeah, exactly. Who's an amazing athlete.
Yeah, who's like 70 and has run up and over our mountain many times.
Yeah. So we thought that he would be the good keystone of the team, and then we built the team out from there. We had a bunch of guys that play a lot. This woman, Charlotte, was actually on the French national team. She played for Team Telluride. Okay. So there was some real skill, and they just got... they got the ball handed to them. The AMP team just dominated. It was a really cool event to build awareness about just the athleticism, the talent, overcoming barriers, just showing what people with disabilities can really accomplish. And it was good because it was in a gym as opposed to normally you see Telluride Adaptive out on the slopes and climbing mountains, and we are primarily outdoor recreation. So this was unique for us to pull it in the gym, but it was cool. Yeah. Yeah, we hope to bring them back again.
And you guys do some stuff with Wounded Warriors and things like that as well, right?
That's a huge piece of our program. Last year we brought more than 150 disabled veterans to Telluride. all expense paid trips,
That's amazing.
retreats, healing, skiing, ice climbing, snowmobiling, camaraderie, building the togetherness of being with other veterans,
Yes.
which a lot of our veterans miss, obviously, once they come back home and enter civilian life. So
And
that's
I'm
a big piece of what we do.
Speaking of all, I want to talk about all expense paid trips because you are paying the expense, right?
We are.
Yeah, and,
we
and
are.
you have something coming up on Friday, March 9th, correct? Called
We do.
Called the Blue Party.
Yes, and the Blue Party. I don't know if you've been out skiing or not, but I know you have. You've seen the blue jackets that our instructors wear. We've got actually 180 volunteers
Amazing.
in this community that volunteer for Adaptive, who go through training to become instructors. And once they're deemed skilled, they can wear the blue jacket and they go out and they teach lessons. And it's really cool.
Cool.
Yeah, so the Blue Party goes back to recognizing the blue jackets
Nice.
and really the basis of what we're raising funds for. So rather than having a theme, it's all about let's raise money to bring adaptive athletes here, let's fund these trips, let's get kids out on the mountain,
Yeah.
break the barriers, and challenge, inspire, and empower people who might not have a chance to experience these things otherwise.
This sounds like all amazing stuff.
Yeah.
The Blue Party's a great party. The Anders brothers are going to be there this year, right?
Yeah.
Playing? Is that right?
Yeah,
Did I say that
yeah.
right? Yeah. And they're going to be there. You're going to have a silent auction with a lot of great, amazing pieces, right?
Yeah, it's a big silent auction. We
Okay.
have 10 local restaurants,
Great.
free drinks, Emeritus Wine. They
Whoa,
sponsor us every
okay.
year at $60 a bottle. You get a free glass, plus drink tickets that are sponsored by other local businesses. We've got the Anders Brothers, special dance performances, and actually Lonnie Bedwell, the 2015 National Geographic Adventurer of the Year.
Oh.
He was actually one of the first blind kayakers to go down the Grand Canyon. He's
Wow.
our guest speaker this year. So we're not messing around. We're pulling out the big guns and
always
dance
amazing.
party, dinner, drinks, amazing
I would not
auction
go down
items.
the Grand Canyon in a kayak, and I have everything.
I went down
I
the
have all my
Grand
facilities that I
Canyon
cannot-
in like a 25-foot raft,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was hiding underneath
Yeah.
the bow of the boat half the time. So I have nothing but respect.
Show up at the Blue Party, go see Lonnie, figure out what it's about. Support TASP, get involved.
Please support TASP.
Yep.
Yeah, it's 300. What did I say? 500 adaptive athletes per
Yep.
year come through our doors. 3,000 lessons, 180 volunteer instructors. It's a small machine, and it provides so much for so many people and opens the great outdoors.
Go to the Blue Party. That's the way to spend your money. Get there, do some silent auctions. Courtney Steucheli,
Thank
you
you,
very
Colin.
much
Thank
for
you
being
so
here.
much. This was
and
fun.
And
I
we'll see
appreciate
you
it.
March 9th at the Blue Party
With blue on,
with Blue on.
your best blue.
Telluride TV is a public access channel that depends on public support, and we'd like to give a shout out to a few of our generous sponsors: the towns of Telluride and Mountain Village, the Telluride Ski and Golf Corporation, and the Telluride Foundation. Now, let's head over and check out a local promo from Wagner Custom Skis. Take it away, Pete.
We help people ski their best by making sure they're on their perfect fit equipment. So every single ski is optimized for the individual, and the benefit is performance. If you're on a ski that fits you properly, it improves your balance, comfort, control. You ski with better power and efficiency. It really just makes skiing easier and more fun. So in early 2017, we opened up a new factory just steps away from the chairlifts in the Mountain Village. You can walk by and actually see us building the skis from the outside. So the first step of our process is to go through our fitting system. It starts at wagnerskis.com. Then you have an interview with the ski designer. Once you work with a ski designer, we figure out what is your perfect geometry. You choose the graphics. At that point, your skis will go into our production process. The first things that we do are we mill the wood cores of the skis and the sidewall sticks. Then we'll cut the base material and pull whatever kind of structural layers are in the ski. Then we'll bend the steel edges. We take all of the different components of the ski, wet them out with an epoxy resin system, and then we put them into a heated press. They'll cook into our press for about 30 minutes, and we pull them out. At that point, we'll have a block, and then it turns into how do we extract a beautiful pair of skis out of this block? So we cut the skis out with a bandsaw by hand. We'll grind the base, bevel the base and sidewall edges, then we wax the skis, check the tune, make sure everything's set up properly, put bindings on them, and then we ship them out, or people can come in and pick them up in person. We think it's a smarter way to buy skis because you work with an expert ski designer, we'll figure out what your perfect equipment is, we build that product, and then fully guarantee it. At Wagner Custom Skis, we strive to make your mountain dreams through perfect fitting equipment.
Well, that was a great piece on Wagner Skis, everyone's favorite local ski company. I am here with Jim Berkowitz of the Telluride Society for Jazz, and you're also involved in some other things around town too, right, Jim?
Yeah, I'd say probably my number one thing is Kodo. I've been on the board now this is my third year. And so that keeps me pretty busy, and then I'm on the board of the Telluride Society for Jazz.
And the Venture Accelerator you've been involved in as well?
Yeah, I've been involved in that since it started 5 years ago, and so that's been a great joy, and that more mixes into what I do for a living, which is digital marketing and helping companies market their products.
And how did you get to Telluride? What's your story here?
I was living in the Denver area for 20 years and was looking to make a move and had never made it to Telluride in all those 20 years. Decided to come down for bluegrass just like everybody else and stayed.
Stayed.
I'm sure people have heard that story before.
And how long ago was that?
12 years ago.
12 years. Great. And how did you get involved with Kodo?
Well, when I first got here and listened to Kodo, actually Paul Machado, who was the executive director of the Telluride Jazz Society, had just left the station. So there was literally nothing that sounded like jazz on Kodo.
Oh, no jazz.
So I tracked down Ben Kerr, and in pretty short order, within a few months, I was on the air doing the Telluride Jazz Beat, which I do every other Saturday afternoon.
I was just going to ask you that.
Yeah.
And you're known as Jimmy Jazz on the radio.
Right.
So you've got a strong passion for jazz. Where did that come from?
Oh, from when I was a kid, like back in the 70s when I was in high school and everyone was going to see the Rolling Stones, I saw Miles Davis. When they went to see the Who, I would go see, whoever. I was always attracted to the whole improvisational aspect of it.
So tell me what's going on with Telluride Jazz Festival and the Telluride Society for Jazz. I know that y'all have had some changes. You've got some really great programs that are happening.
Right. So, not everyone realizes that the Telluride Society for Jazz has been the organization for many, many years who ran the Jazz Festival. We had a staff of people, and it was, a ton of work. And when Paul Machado retired, we decided, why are we going to try to run a jazz festival? And so we literally put running the festival up for bid, and ended up doing a 3-year deal with Steve Gumbel.
Who's got tons of experience running festivals.
Exactly. And the first year was fantastic, beyond our expectations. So we have high hopes for the next 2 years. And but the most important thing is, without having to run the festival, we have more time and energy to do, what we're really all about, which is jazz education.
Yeah, it gives you more time to focus on the programs that Telluride Society for Jazz has going on.
Right.
So what do you have coming up program-wise?
So there's woman, Kathy Cousins. She's been wanting to come to Telluride for at least 5 years.
Oh, wow.
And so given the opportunity to do something this winter revolving more about the educational aspect, I began to piece everything together. And I learned that she's equally as good as a visual artist as she is a singer. And so I basically orchestrated where she would get to do art and have an exhibition at the AHA Gallery, while at the same time going into the high school for the music kids on Wednesday the 28th. And then a Wednesday night she's doing a singing clinic open to the public, absolutely free for anyone who wants some really good feedback from a professional singer. And then on Thursday she's doing a formal art class at the AHA School, which her talent is painting from her feelings while listening to music.
Okay.
So they're going to be playing a lot of jazz music, and people will be painting in all different mediums.
Uh-huh.
And then at night, she's having her opening at the AHA Gallery and performing. We're bringing Jeff Jenkins, who's one of the finest keyboard players from Denver, to play with her. And she'll have an opening where she's going to sing and perform and paint. So it's going to be very interesting.
That's fantastic. And what kind of style is she? I read that she grew up in Detroit. So is that Motown style?
Well, yeah, she picked up on that. You know, this is her, I want to say, maybe 8th album.
Uh-huh.
And she's, done all different kinds of types of jazz. But this new album came out, I think it was on February 9th. And it
really? Recently? This is almost like an album release party.
I know. It came out on February 9th, and it was called Uncovered Soul. And she wrote a number of the tunes that are on it, but she also, brought in some cover songs of more obscure songs, but with a very much of an R&B and soul kind of a rhythm to it and sound to it, and it's taking off. Like, we're so lucky to get her here.
And in so many different ways. So she's going to be doing a program with the kids,
right,
in the music,
right,
program, and then she'll be doing a singing class at AHA,
a singing class at AHA,
as well as a painting
the
with
next
jazz,
day, right,
and then an art opening.
Right. All
Wow.
in 2 days, starting on Wednesday the 28th, and the art class and the exhibition opening, which that's free. The only thing that costs any money is the art class at the AHA.
And
everything else is open to the public and free.
Yeah. And that will go through AHA School for the Arts. If
Right.
You want to do it.
Yeah, correct.
Great. Well, do we have anything else to look forward to with jazz? Lineup coming out sometime?
Yeah, that's really Mr. Gumbel's call on that. Of course, we're involved, as we always are, with the Telluride Jazz All-Stars, where we select and bring high school kids into town. And we also have a new program that we did last year for the first time called the Telluride Jazz Academy, which is done in conjunction with the Telluride Academy, and they do all these fantastic outdoor activities during the day and then come back and practice jazz. And then we give these kids the opportunity to perform generally on the free stage that we have at Elks Park. The Jazz All-Stars perform on the big stage.
Which is amazing. Yeah. Jazz is such a great little festival, and it's like a nice vibe, and it's just so well done too, especially with Steve taking it over.
Right.
I'm really looking forward to it, and I think that these programs are fabulous. For kids to be able to be introduced to jazz young and be able to play and meet these musicians is just a wonderful opportunity. Yeah. So thanks for joining us, Jim. It was great. Speaking of the Telluride Jazz Festival, we're going to take a retro ride back to the 2015 Telluride Jazz All-Stars performance.
My name is Bob Montgomery. I'm a jazz trumpet player, composer, arranger, educator, and I'm co-director of this program, the Telluride All-Stars. Out of a few hundred auditions, we pick 6, 7, or 8 young students to come to Telluride for a week.
It's a really intense program, and we're just working at this great music called jazz just all day, and we're rehearsing, and we're playing at jams, and we're doing gigs. And
it's an incredibly humbling experience. You really get to see like the music, how it's developed, and how the people develop as musicians.
Each student has a very original voice. We have 2 saxophone players, and they sound completely different. Not only their sounds, but their language of improvisation, their harmonic vocabulary, and the way they play rhythm.
I mean, I just met the trumpet player, but he has like a really fiery sound. He really likes to play kind of weird sounds. He's like a interesting guy like that. He's like kind of a fiery guy, I'd say. I mean, you see like Walter's piano player, and like he's really melodic and really kind of like a lot of times joyous, and that's like how he is, a really good person. He's like really outgoing, like pretty outgoing, like good guy.
Your personality is put out through your instrument, and so if you know that personality, no matter how you know them, if you enjoy being with them, that's going to make the music better. And so, like, we try to spend some time outside before we're not practicing, we're not rehearsing. We're out there and we're, walking around town, we're talking, we're trying to get to know each other better. We ride the gondola up and down. That kind of thing really brings everybody together.
These are the 2015 Telluride All-Stars, and all the music you hear, they have written.
They've really guided us, like how we conduct ourselves on stage, and towards other musicians, to always be loving and helping each other. We're all supporting each other. If someone falls, there's 7 other people there to catch them, and it's almost like a little family.
You look out and you see these gorgeous mountains and tons of people, and you just kind of feed off that energy. Every year I hear some of the main acts talking about how this is like one of their favorite places to play in the entire world, just because of like the beauty of the town, the beauty of the people.
Yeah, those friendships last a long, long time, and the music, you never forget how it was playing together, so as soon as you go over there, boom, it's just right there. That connection is always there. So
This is a great experience. I couldn't ask for anything better. In a jazz setting, it's truly amazing. It really is.
There you go. That was a retro ride of the 2015 Telluride Jazz All-Stars. Telluride TV has 30 years of archival video records, everything from community events like the 4th of July Parade, tab fashion shows, Coda Lip Sync, festival interviews, and children's theater. If you have your own retro ride videos, you can send them to us at tim@telluridetv.org or tag us at TellurideTV.
Now let's join Katie and Kara from Kodo for the news, and after that, we'll watch a barber yoga segment.
Hi, I'm Kara.
And I'm Katie.
And we're the Kodo News team, and you are watching Radio Vision. Katie, what's new in the news this week?
Well, the biggest news to hit the community lately was tragic news, and that is the death of longtime Telluride local Gabe Wright. Wright was snowboarding with 2 friends in Bear Creek on February 25th in the Nelly area and evidently hit a shallow rock at a high rate of speed and was thrown into a log. He was unresponsive when his friends reached him, and efforts to revive him were unsuccessful. So nobody saw the accident, but a lot of people were affected by it.
Yeah, it's a very sad story. What is his history in Telluride?
Sure, so he's lived in Telluride for many years, and he was this incredible professional level snowboarder who had made his first snowboard descents in Bear Creek and been featured in publications like Snowboard Journal. He was very under the radar. People didn't really know him, and people remember him as being incredibly humble. He was a husband, father, and sushi chef in town, 47 years old, and he was remembered for his infectious enthusiasm for snowboarding and the outdoors and just kind of living in the mountains as much as he could. So in other news that affects locals.
Yeah, well, this is a much less emotional story, but the Brown Bag is closing. I'm sure a lot of people have heard, and it's a Telluride staple, been in town for some 20 years, and the current owners, Caleb and Maddie Ebright, they've been operating the business since 2011, and they're shutting their doors, and Caleb said they just couldn't make ends meet between bluegrass and bluegrass. So sad for those folks who like the curry chicken salad.
It's my favorite.
Dang. But when one door closes, another one opens, and that's the case over at RBG. Downstairs, there's a whiskey, lounge, and noodle bar. I think I have that right, opening. And that's in the downstairs space. And then upstairs is an operation called Telluride Works, with Telluride Venture Accelerator being the main tenant of that space. So it's kind of a shared working space upstairs for entrepreneurs and creatives.
And what qualify someone as a creative?
I don't know that answer, but the Noodle Bar and Whiskey Lounge, I think I mixed those up, will be open from 2 to 2, and then Telluride Works upstairs will be normal business hours, so that will make for a great happy hour at 5 o'clock. Hopefully the folks upstairs like whiskey and noodles.
Yeah.
Oh, and Shanghai Palace.
Right.
That's right, another update. Their lease was extended till July 31st, and then after that it's month to month, so we don't really know, much like the answer to the creatives question, not sure what will be the answer for how long they'll stay open.
Sure.
That was bad. Can I do that again? Sure. Can I do this just starting at Shanghai?
Yep.
Okay. Where am I?
And some might be wondering
I've been
about
like
Shanghai.
scared to look at my script.
You're doing good.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay. Oh, and some might be wondering about Shanghai Palace.
Right.
So their lease was extended to July 31st, and then it's month to month after that. So just like in the case of the creatives, no concrete answer as to how long they'll be open.
Great.
Yeah, so what else do you have going, Katie?
Well, lots of election news. San Miguel County precinct caucuses were held this week for both the Democratic and Republican parties. During the caucuses, delegates are chosen to go to the county assemblies, and those are the more important events because that's where party members vote on primary election candidates. So that'll happen at the end of this month. And then we've been reporting on more candidates announcing they're running for county seats. So last week we had a story about Stephanie Van Dam, a longtime deputy clerk for San Miguel County who's running for county clerk. And then this week we will have a story about Brandy Hatfield, who is running for treasurer, and she also works in the treasurer's office.
It's going to be a busy election season. I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, we will have no shortage of stories in the next year.
Right.
It happens for a while.
And adding to that, we should tell people about a new project that we're a part of. It's a collaboration with several other Western Slope radio stations. We're still coming up for a name for it, but we'll be reporting on natural resources stories across the southwest corner of Colorado. So.
And I think it'll be a total, between all the stations, of 40 stories over 10 months. And it's using this format called solutions journalism, which is an approach to news where you kind of focus on responses to issues and solutions that are happening, as well as the problems themselves. So,
And we kick that project off very soon, and we'll have a page dedicated to it at codo.org. So if you have ideas for natural resources stories, you can send them to news@codo.org and drop us a line with your ideas, especially for me.
We have a lot of stories to write.
I think that about does it for this installment of Radio Vision.
Great. Thanks for watching, and a reminder to listeners, our newscasts are at 6 p.m. on Codo, and then rebroadcast the next morning at 8 a.m.
And 9 a.m. on Saturdays so you can sleep in.
Until next time, stay out of the news.
Or at least make it a good story.
Welcome to our mini yoga series in beautiful Telluride, Colorado. My name is Barbara Glansnick, and today we're going to take a look at a squat. A great pose, especially if you have issues with your digestive system. So this mini series should provide you with some easy stretches that you can do throughout the day, especially when you don't have a lot of time. As always, I want you to really focus on the breath. So we're going to inhale and exhale through the nose only. Also, really move with care, listen to your body, and acknowledge and honor where you are today. Okay, so I want you to come to the mat, and I'm going to face you first. So you're going to keep your feet wider than your hips. And then basically we're just going to drop the seat down as much as possible. Now I'm going to turn so you can see me from the side. So heels are wider than the toes. We're going to be pigeon-toed as much as possible. Again, feet are wider than the hips so that the seat has space. And then for some people, this may be really hard to get the heels down. So if you can't reach the heels to the floor, just stay here and work on this. If you have the heels somewhere closer to the floor. You can feel that the insides of your upper arms are pressing against the knee. So now place your hand in prayer and reach your arms against the knee, creating more space. So we're going to sit here for quite some time, gaze in the direction of the nose, and just breathe. 1, make sure that your exhalation is really empty. And with your inhale, maybe you can reach your heart forward a little more. 2. If your shins are starting to talk to you, that's a good sign. Just keep breathing. 3, 4, and exhale for the last time. 5. And then gently just lift up and either sit down or do it again. It's up to you. Again, you can repeat this squat many times throughout the day. It's also a great pose to release any tension in your lower back. Thank you so very much for practicing with me today. I hope I'll see you again. Namaste.
Well, Almost Live is almost over.
But if you missed part of the show, never fear. Almost Live airs every day, morning, noon, and night on Channel 12, and you can always catch us on Facebook or our YouTube channel.
But don't go away yet, because we have a special surprise for you. We have a little clip from Carl Denzen's recent performance at Telluride's Club Red. See you later.
Bye.
Telluride, how you feeling? Make some noise in here, come on, come on.